That was a time.
I love Cologne. Cologne is my sleeper town in Germany. Yeah.
So chill. Like, I love
It's very, like, it reminds me of Brooklyn. It's very artsy and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Hi everyone, this is Yanelis of MediaNovaCo. We're here with BAS.
What's up, what's up?
BAS, how you been? How's the tour been?
A blessing, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to be back out. It's my first headlining tour since pre-COVID, so, you know, it feels good to see all the songs come to life.
Yeah. And how does it feel with the tour coming to a close?
It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
It's been a great time, you know. I'm a little sad, but, you know, I get back in the studio and come right back out.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Now, Atlanta has showed you love and gave you your flowers. How does it feel to be in Atlanta tonight, and what do you think fans are feeling after tonight's amazing performance?
I'm hope they're feeling like it was an evolution of my live show. You know, we put a lot into it as far as a whole new band, production value, things of that nature. I wanted to make sure that if you came to my last show, you came to this show, you would feel. Yeah, exactly. You'd see an evolution. So hopefully that's what they came away with.
Now, you went on tour in 2019 for the Milky Way album. Later that year, you dropped Risk with FKJ, who is your Parisian brother. And just last year, you dropped your most recent album, We Only Talk About Real Shit When We're Fucked Up. Can you take us through what this album journey has been for you these past 4 years?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Risk, because Risk was kind of, you know, like the genesis of it all, in a way. Obviously on the album, there's a lot more like melodic parts, there's a lot more down tempo, there's a lot of things that when I did Risk, it was like a eureka moment. I was like, oh, I want to make more music like this. And that's why I always encourage people to work with different producers that push them out of their comfort zone. Like FKJ always pushes me out of my comfort zone. And that's how you gain a new superpower. You know, that's how you learn to do something new. So I learned something on Risk, and then it made me want to explore that side more, and that's how you get, you know, songs like Choppers and which ironically he co-produced on both of those as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You know, so my hat's off to bro. We're working on a lot more new music. He's one of my favorite artists in the world, and also just a great person. Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned melodies. This is definitely one of those albums you can just let play, and it takes you through different melodies, which start off slow, allowing your lyricism to shine through, and then pivoting to a more familiar sound for us within the African diaspora. How did that influence the placement of the songs within the album?
I just wanted to take people on a ride similar to a live show, you know? You want to build the energy. There's some moments that are more intimate, that are more heart to heart, that are more, you know, cerebral, kind of like, you know, train of thought. And then there's moments where you got to pick the energy up naturally. So it's all about just picking the moments to do those things, you know? And I feel like we did it right.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think the fans would agree. There are some familiar collaborations on this album as well as some new ones. How was it to be in the studio again with A$AP Ferg, J. Cole, who has been instrumental to your growth and success, Amaarae, Shasha, and Blackie, who came all the way from South Africa to share the stage with you?
Yeah, no, it was love. I mean, obviously me and Cole have such a rapport, it's like second nature.
Yeah.
You know, he's like probably the easiest person in the world for me to collaborate with, just because we've been doing this for so long. Yeah. Excuse me. We got so many records and such an understanding that it makes the process very easy. You know, and then I didn't like set out to do this, but it was cool to me that like Shasha, Amaarae, Blackie are all also part, you know, all from the African continent. And, you know, it's important for me as someone from the African diaspora to kind of build those bridges, you know what I mean? And someone like Blackie, who now, because we have that song, it allowed him to come tour with me for this whole tour and get his first kind of exposure in the US. And I remember guys that took me on tour, you know, and let me open up for them. And those moments are invaluable. You know what I mean? That's how you build a real fan base. I'm sure he left this building with more fans than he came in with, you know? So,
I believe so too. He was amazing tonight.
He is. He's amazing. He's a truly super talented artist. And then he's so popular back home that it takes someone with real drive and dedication to humble themselves and say, okay, I'm going to go there and be an opener. I'm not going to be the man there, But in time I will be, because I have the work ethic and the humility to go out there and make some fans and do the hard work. So nothing but love for Black.
Yeah, and I think that shows the bond with you too, so it's very beautiful.
Yeah, that's my
Like the
dog.
brotherhood.
That's my dog.
Now I can say a lot, but one thing I will say is evident in your music is your Sudanese roots, as you mentioned. Your penmanship is insane. What has been your creative process when writing lyrics that express your New York upbringing over different Afrofusion beats?
Yeah, I think, New York is like the perfect city to, it is the melting pot, of the world. So it's so many different cultures. If you grow up in New York, you're already used to going to, your corner store. You might be from Yemen. You might get lunch from the Cuban restaurant. You might, yeah, exactly. You might go to the bodega for lunch. You might go to the Jamaican spot for dinner. And then,
some Jamaican food, some Colombian food.
Some Colombian.
You know what
Like,
I'm saying?
there's so many cultures that you're constantly interacting with. You might, your Uber driver might be, from Venezuela, and you know what I mean. And every day you're having these conversations with people, and it's just expanding, your culture. And for me, being that I am kind of from all these places and have an international upbringing, it's the perfect city to anchor all that.
Yeah, I love that. Now, as someone who is breaking the limited barriers placed on artists to stay within regional limits, how important was it for you to collaborate with artists within the African diaspora while maintaining the sound older fans are used to?
Yeah, very important. I think I'm blessed, I'm blessed that from day one, I think my fans have always known that, like, I have a weird, eclectic, out there sound, That's been from my very first mixtape. I think the intro on my very first mixtape was like a Jamiroquai song that I just ripped. Jamiroquai's a band from the UK, acid jazz, super dope. One of my favorite, musical groups of all time. But either way, from the beginning, subconsciously, I didn't know I was doing it, but I was always drawn to these other worlds and cultures, and in that aspect, I was introducing my fan base to it. So I'm blessed that, like, my fan base doesn't put me in a box. They let me. Even like this tour showed me that. Like, I'm doing Afrobeat records. I was never doing Afrobeat records, and I'm seeing it resonate, with all our fans. So it's like that part of it is it's like I'm very, very, very like grateful for that.
Absolutely. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. We talked about the beats, the lyrics, and some of the collaborators on this album. Right before the album ends, you collaborated with Adekunle Gold to bring awareness to the tragedy.
And Kelby produced that. Kelby Vibes is my dog.
Shout out to Kelby.
Very talented producer, artist, songwriter. Slept on to me. I know his light is coming, his time is coming. Kelby is an incredible artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Produced a lot of Burna Boy's early work. Produced hits for every major Afrobeat artist, from Fireboy to Adekunle. Yeah. Kelby's the guy. He's another one in the same essence as Blackie. That's just humble, ready to do the work, ready to do what it takes. And people like that I have, infinite respect for. Yeah.
What message would you like to send to your fans who have listened to the song Cartoon or are listening to it for the first time?
I would say, just keep your heart open, keep your mind open, keep your prayers on the less fortunate. I know it's very hard these days. There's pain and suffering all over the world, and you could go on IG and see a million places and feel overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah.
But to say nothing is the worst of it. To feel nothing is the worst of it. I think if you can just feel a little empathy for people's pain, if you can share a story, share a news article, share a GoFundMe, it costs you nothing but a click.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, I think apathy right now is our enemy, because you're just so used to seeing pain everywhere that you're like, what the fuck can I do about it? But it's like, if we all take that mindset, then nothing will ever be done. So I'm a strong believer that we all just need to use our platforms, use our voices, use whatever we can to just try to help the less fortunate amongst us.
Absolutely. And condolences go out to your families, to Sudan, to Congo, and to all the tragedies happening around the world. Let's end it on a light note.
Free Palestine.
Absolutely, free Palestine. Let's end it on a light note. You ended it on a love note with another collaboration from FKJ. Are we talking about real things because we've had some lessons to learn? What can you share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, that's part of why it took me so long to make this album. I think as an artist, you want to showcase some growth, some maturity, some evolution in who you are as a person and try to convey that to your audience, you know? So a lot of those things for me are like, you know, very intricate and emotional moments in my life that I try to learn the baseline lesson. Like what is it that I can convey to the audience? Because sometimes you don't want to give out all the personal details, right? It's just, but there are overarching lessons that you know that, yo, if I went through this, they went through this, someone listened to me, lost a loved one, or, you know, had a terrible breakup, or, you know, went through the anxiety and uncertainty of trying to elevate their own career or standing, or whatever the case may be. So you try to take those emotions and form them in a way where, you know, your fan base will understand and resonate.
Absolutely. Now, tour is ending. What's next?